got my knife in a vise here, and I'm going to cut this pin off with my Dremel, and I just want to demonstrate that for you. And I'm using eye protectors and nose and mouth protectors too. I don't want to inhale this stuff. So I'll cut this off, and then I'll cut it off as soon as I'm done. Okay, as you can see, there's no way I could have used that Dremel to cut it as flush as that, so I'm going to have to put my sanding attachment on my Dremel so I can sand that down and level with the scale. And I'll be cutting all of the pins off that way. So that was about a 1/16 to 1/8 of an inch that I cut off there, which is nice. Just less sanding that I'll have to do. And as soon as I start sanding, I'll demonstrate that. Okay, I've got the pins cut off fairly close. So what I'm going to do now is use my Dremel and sand the pin down to the same level as my scale, and then use some hand tools to fine sand the rest of the scale. And again, what I'm going to do is use eye protectors and nose and mouth guards. So I'll start, and I'll finish and turn you off. Okay, just had to take but a couple minutes. You can see here the reason you want your eye protectors and your face mask on is you can see the fine metal that's here that kicked up, and you can see the pin now is smooth with the scale. So I'll be doing that on the rest of the pins of the knife, and once I get that done, I can start hand sanding that, and it feels really neat, really nice. So One thing you have to do is just be careful with that and not get too aggressive with your Dremel tool, because it will eat into the wood. So as soon as I get all this done and start hand sanding, as soon as I get this done and start hand sanding, I'll demonstrate that. Okay, I've got my knife ready to hand sand. Just sand it by hand. I'm going to use a 180 grit and I think it's a 220 grit on my scales here. And what I'm doing, since I've got some indentation, I'm just using a little, I think it's about a 3/4 of an inch dowel, and I'm just cutting strips of sandpaper off, wrapping it around, and just sanding it by hand, and just trying to go with the grain that it came with, and that way I can go in this direction, and then I can kind of go inside too, and periodically just feel to make sure it's smooth. And some people may not want a smooth handle. It might slip in their hand, but it's still squared enough on the top where it's not going to flip over in your hand, and I think it'll be nice. And as soon as I get done with this, I'll be ready to put polyurethane on it. I'm going to spray it with polyurethane and just kind of go from there. But just doing a hand sanding, get it nice and smooth, and then I'm going to polyurethane it. Okay, today I am finishing my handles, or the scales on my knife, and you can see I'm actually building 5 knives at a time. That's why it's taken quite a while to build these knives. And I've just got some thread hanging on a pole and some polyurethane, and what I'm doing is just wrap to protect the blade from polyurethane, just lightly spraying the handles themselves, and getting all of that done. And it's wet today. I'm on the back porch, a little area in here. As soon as I do the final coat, then I'm going to take it in the house, probably put it over a vents and circulate some air over it, and I'll go ahead and just do one of these, and just got my glove on just to protect me. And what I'm going to do is just simply, just very light, do a polyurethane on those, and just kind of let it sit there and dry there. And I'll do that for all the knives too. And as soon as I get that done, I'm ready to get on the blade itself, probably doing some polishing, and then all I have left to do is sharpen the blade up itself. Hello, this is Pops. Just want to show you the finished scales and handle. Got polyurethane, put 3 coats on it because it was unfinished wood. It feels really nice. It looks really good. What I'm going to do now is polish up the blade, get some of the scratches off of it, sharpen it up, and actually before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and build a sheath. And I've got my graph paper out, and I've got my plan for the sheath here. And you can see it fits right over this. And I know, or have a good idea of where I'm going to put my eyelets at. And I'm also going to put a small tech lock on it. And I've got an idea. I went on YouTube. Gavco, he has a lot of great YouTube videos showing the use of Kydex, how to make Kydex sheaths, and also mounting these tech locks. So I'm going to be trying to pattern what he does over that. So let's get started on building these sheaths.